Hmm. Hmm? You came back from school or work after a long day where you didn't even do too much physically. On your way home, you ran to the supermarket to get a few things, and suddenly you started experiencing all kinds of weakness and tiredness. Or maybe you went straight to visit a friend, got home after having a nice time with your family, and laid in bed. So you decided to check your phone or laptop to see what is going on, only to start feeling completely drained. Are you the type of person that somehow feels this way? Because I need you to understand your body is not broken, your brain is just drained, and nobody is telling you why. Do well to stay with me till the end of this video. There might be some things you need to take note of or habits you have been avoiding, and it is high time you started paying attention to them. So let's break down exactly what is happening inside your head. Let's take a look at the biology first. Your brain only makes up about 2% of your body weight, but it consumes 20% of your daily energy. It's an absolutely engine, and right now, the modern world is forcing your engine to run at maximum speed all day long. Psychologists call this cognitive load. A famous social psychologist named Dr. Roy spent years researching how this mental energy gets spent. He proved that every single time you make a choice, you burn physical energy in the form of glucose. He called this decision fatigue.
Decision fatigue is a little harder. If you can tell on a self-control test, they're good laboratory tests of self-control that people can do. I mean, things like how long can you hold your hand in ice water before you pull it out because it's cold and you feel like pulling it out right away. And so it takes self-control to keep it there. And so in one of our studies, we had people either make a lot of decisions or think about all the same products they were going to possibly want. Think about them all, but not make any decisions. And the ones who'd made decisions gave up twice as fast. In other words, half as long before they pulled their hand out and said, I can't stand it any longer. So there are lots of ways to measure self-control.
Think about your money. By the time you sit down to work or study, you have already made hundreds of micro decisions: what to wear, what to eat, answering tests, reading emails, even deciding which aisle to walk down in the supermarket. As Dr. Roy pointed out, your brain doesn't care if a decision is big or small. It uses the same energy pool, and by the time you actually need to do important work, your brain's fuel tank is literally empty. So you haven't moved a muscle, but neurologically you just ran a marathon. Let me ask you, does this sound like a typical afternoon, and when was the last time you experienced this exact type of world? Let me know in the comments below. I read every single one. Because as bad as decision fatigue is, it is only half the story. The second hidden energy drain is where it gets worse. The next major energy leak is social and sensory overload. When you visited that friend or hung out with your family, you had a good time, but social interaction requires a massive amount of subconscious brain power. You are reading body language, reacting to jokes, and managing how people perceive you. A groundbreaking sociologist named Dr. Ali coined a specific term for this. She called it emotional labor.
Well, it's the labor of attuning yourself to the needs of another and to empathizing with the needs of another, which is different from attunement. You can know what a person is feeling without caring. So this is to attune yourself and care, and to manage your own emotions in the service of providing this empathy. It is that.
Dr. Ali showed that it takes active psychological energy to suppress your true feelings, project a socially acceptable version of yourself, and process the noise of the world around you. So when you finally get home and collapse on the bed, your body isn't resting from physical labor. It is recovering from the exhausting performance of simply existing in a busy society. Which brings us to the biggest trap of all: how you rest. When you are exhausted, what is the first thing you do? You lie down and you check your phone. You think you are relaxing because your body is still. But let's look at what is actually happening inside your head. A pioneer neuroscientist named Dr. Marcus discovered something fascinating using brain scans. He found that when a human brain is truly resting, a specific system kicks in called the default mode network.
What do you understand so far about that default mode network?
It's quite an elaborate system, and if you take a look at its individual parts, you have to come away with the sense that the functions we can now associate with that have a self-referential component to it.
Meaning what? Meaning
Well, for example,
that
if
something is going to affect me?
there is a self-referential connection between the memory and me as a person, that we were an actor in the event. What did I have for breakfast? Where was I yesterday? When did I meet this person? And so forth. So memory is a component of it, but it is a special part of memory, it seems, that has this self-referential component.
This network is responsible for daydreaming, processing your emotions, and clearing out mental clutter. But when you scroll through short videos, Dr. Marcus' research shows that this recovery network completely shuts down. Instead, every 15 seconds, you are forcing your brain to process a completely new piece of information and a new dopamine hit. You are physically in bed, but psychologically, your brain is printing. This is fake rest. You are asking your brain to sleep while shining a flashlight directly into its eyes. Now, you might wonder why scrolling on your phone so much worse than just sitting down to watch a movie or a TV show. Because when you watch a traditional TV show, your brain follows a single predictable storyline for 30 minutes or an hour. It settles into a steady focus rhythm. But when you scroll through short form videos, every single swipe forces your brain to completely reset. In a span of just 2 minutes, you might go from watching a funny pet clip to a stressful news report to a loud music trend to a cooking tutorial. Each video requires a completely different emotional reaction and context. This rapid context switching activates your brain's orienting response over and over again. It forces that default mode network to completely lock up, leaving your brain more overstimulated and tired than before you lay down. So how do we fix this? Because sleep alone isn't enough. A well-known medical researcher named Dr. Sandra famously discovered that humans actually need 7 different types of rest to function, and if you're always tired, you are likely missing 2 specific ones: mental rest and sensory rest. Here's your assignment for today based on Dr. Sandra's research. I want you to try something that sounds easy but is actually very hard. Give yourself 10 minutes of zero input. No music, no podcast, no phone, no talking. Just sit in a room or walk outside and let your brain process the backlog of thoughts it's been holding onto all day. Let your mind wander. In addition to the zero input exercise, here's one practical tool from Dr. Dalton. Research to help clear your mental rest deficit. Try a daily brain dump. Right before you go to bed or right after you finish your work session. Take a physical piece of paper and write down everything swirling in your head. Write down your to-do list, the things worrying you, or even random thoughts. Don't worry about making it look neat. The goal here is psychological externalization. When you keep your tasks and worries purely in your head, your brain treats them like open tabs on a computer, constantly burning background energy to make sure you don't forget them. So by putting them down on paper, you tell your brain, this is safe, you can stop holding on to it. Then it instantly lowers your cognitive load so you can actually get real recovery. True rest isn't about shutting your eyes, it is about giving your brain permission to stop processing the world. Once you stop treating your brain like a computer that needs to be constantly downloading data, you will be amazed at how much energy you actually have. If this video helped you understand yourself a little better, before you go, do me a favor. Hit the like button, share with others. We all need to know what is going on inside our heads. And if you're here to subscribe, honestly, you need to subscribe because my next video, you don't want to miss it. I am Dami, and I'll see you next week.